When I was over there, I don't think I ever bothered any letters, anything. You wouldn't anybody, but once you're in the front line, you wouldn't get anything like that, or you couldn't even send it out as far as they're not. They got too much other work to do, rather than any. You might be scared, but you don't get lonely because it's too activity. Like over there, where in the front line, somebody's pegging bullets at you all the time. You don't have even time to think. I think you got to go ahead and learn to try and face it. Sure, I don't care who you are. That when you got somebody shooting at you all the, your nerves are in a hell of a shape, you know. Really, you're not really, can't hardly live with any other men, and they always told me that their nerves were in a hell of a shape, As far as I can see that any man would have to be made out of steel who wasn't in a hell of shape.
What do you remember when you came back after the war? Like, how did you adjust?
Well, I got a job driving for the Department of Highway, and whenever a rock would roll down at noon coming down the bank, I would hit the ground and roll. And there's always a dozen other drivers around, and they would laugh and laugh. You are the craziest son of a gun we have ever seen. Well, I said, boys, I appreciate your laughing. But things like that, when we were in the front line, saved my life so many times, because I remember so many new men coming in and run into where a machine gun, and they didn't have the training or something to hit that ground and roll, and they'd be dead. And I know so many times that I know that's what saved my life. And a person don't realize that kind of training, when you're running into anybody shooting at you, you better not be standing up very long. You better hit that ground and get the hell out of the way that them shots are coming in. Well, actually, my folks were, at the time, they were living in Alberta, and about that time they moved to BC here, and I was kind of lost. I didn't know what I was going to do. I kind of thought I was going to rejoin again and go to Korea there and fight in Korea. That's what I had kind of planned on, but I didn't. And I happened to go in one day and talk to the engineer right here in town, the Department of Highway, they called it then. And I asked him if he needed anybody, and I said I wouldn't mind learning to drive truck with you. And he said, yes, seeing you're a serviceman, we're more than willing to go ahead and give you a job. He said, yeah, come back next week, next Monday, Fred, and we'll put you to work. So I come in, and I done odd jobs for a while, and then they give me a truck to drive, and I started hauling gravel. And we were building so many roads, all these streets in here were built then, and we were hauling gravel anywhere from, actually, at that time we had the other side of Benedictine. We'd go through in Benedictine, and we had a chunk on the other side, what's called Merrimack, or I just forget what, in there, and we'd have to go over there. I'd have to go all gravel way back in there, and we would different, and we had different pits. We had one at Rutland up in the hills. There's one in there. We hauled thousands of loads.